This could be the end of Festool. Milwaukee just changed the game with this corded dust extractor. That's right, you can use it cordless or corded, and I think you're gonna be seriously impressed with the performance of this dust extractor compared to some of the competition like Festool, who's probably a little nervous right now. Let's go. If you'd like to check out this or any other tool I show in the video today, there'll be a link in the description, the pinned comment, or that shop button right here on YouTube. This is impressive. The box is even impressive here. It's just bold red Milwaukee. Out of the box, it is assembled for the most part. The only thing you have to put on, obviously, is the hose, which locks in place. And there's 4 hose hangers that will just clip onto the side. No screws, bolts, anything like that needed. They just snap into place. After that, you're ready to rock if you have 2 batteries. Now we'll test and see what kind of battery combinations will work with this. I only have one actual Forge battery, but I also have an HD 12.0 battery, and this should be just fine. Now this also is a dual power, and I think this is where it's going to separate itself from most of the competition. You can use this cordless, or you can plug it in and use it corded. Now once you get this out of the box, you're just going to open it up. Inside you're going to find the bag. You're also going to find a few parts and pieces like those hose hooks, and they also include a table saw adapter for like job site saws. So you got that 2 1/4 inch opening on one side, and then of course it fits into your dust hose on the other. And the good thing about this dust hose is it will clip to these adapters. So you don't have to worry about it coming, pulling itself out. You also get a sander adapter or a smaller tool adapter with this. I think this is fantastic, and I am glad they included these 2 adapters with this kit. Now the hose out of the box, unsure about the hose. I don't know, we'll have to see how it works. It is not Festool level as far as the hose goes, because, well, for one, the Festool hose is fabric. This is a plastic. I'm wondering if we're not going to get a little static buildup here. We'll have to wait and see. Like I think it was a Hercules dust extractor. It had a hose similar to this and did get some static buildup. We'll see how that works. This also includes in the package, don't throw this away or miss it, there's a VacLink remote. I absolutely love the remote on my Festool dust extractor. I use it all the time when I'm using tools that aren't plugged directly in. Now you can use this in a variety of ways. You can attach it to the hose. You can attach it to your arm. It also has a belt clip so you can clip it to yourself. So if you're working up on a ladder or on scaffolding or something like that and you need to turn your vac on with a tool and it's not automatically synced to this, then this is the way to do it with the remote. I love having these remotes. I think they should come with all dust extractors. You don't know how much you want one until you have it. And first impressions, this thing looks sick. Like, it is a good looking tool. That bold red, the white Milwaukee, like, I like it a lot. This on the top is also pack out compatible. So if you do have pack outs, you can just slide those on for parts, pieces, tools, anything you're gonna need around the shop or on the job site. I was kind of surprised at the size of this. The box is a really big box, but it's well packed. In other words, a lot of packing around it. It's not as big as I thought it was gonna be. I thought out of the box, this would be a very large dust extractor. It's not. It doesn't take up a ton of room, and I'm glad. It's not overly heavy, but there is a little weight to it, not too bad. It does have a few ways to carry this. There's a handle on the top, and then there's also handles built into each side, so if you need to pick up and lift from there. There's also handles built into the back, so if you need to pick it up from there, and then on the front, no handle, but you can grab something, probably. As far as the way it rolls, this thing rolls nice. It has 2 locking cashers up front, so you can lock it in place, 2 big wheels on the back. I like how they did the filters. It's in the trunk. You pop the trunk, there's your 2 dual HEPA filters. And if you don't know what HEPA is, it's gonna filter out the extremely fine dust. We're talking down to, I think, 0.3 microns, if I remember right. This is a dust extractor. The difference between a dust extractor and a shop vac's a couple of different things. Number one, that fine filtration. You get that dual HEPA filtration, filtering out that extremely fine, dangerous dust, keeps it out of your lungs. If you're working with wood, concrete, or anything that creates that really fine dust, I think a dust extractor is extremely important in a wood shop when you can budget one, because it is filtering out that fine dust, especially when you're using sanders, routers, track saws, anything that's creating a ton of that fine dust. We want to get that out of the air as fast as possible. You will be happy to know, or some of you will, the Festool hose does fit in this port. It doesn't lock in like this OEM hose, but it does friction fit and it's snug in there. You're not gonna have to worry about it leaking air or anything like that. If you pulled it hard enough, it would come out, but just putting it in there like normal use, it's going to be fine. So if you want to upgrade the hose, if you're not a fan of these hard plastic hoses, you'd rather have that fabric hose, the Festool hose will fit in it, although the Festool hose is a smaller diameter than this one, or at least the hose I have. Not overly loud, that's max power. So if I was sanding, and this wasn't in my face here, it's on the lowest setting. If I'm sanding, I'm probably going to use a 1 or a 2 on this setting. It's not very loud. Now this does have an automatic filter cleaning as well, and the way you'll hear that is basically diverting the air and kind of popping those filters. Check it out, you can hear it here. You can hear it go 3 times in a row, and that's just that diverting the air and cleaning those filters. This also has the Power State brushless motors, so better battery life, more power. Brushless motors are just known for that. And then it also has the RedLink Plus technology that Milwaukee has that communicates with the battery and the tool and all that stuff to basically just get more power and longevity out of your batteries. The way the VacLink works is it's a Bluetooth connection between the tool, if it's available in that tool, and the shop vac. And I have the brand new Milwaukee M18 sander here. It does have the VacLink. All you have to do is push and hold that button, it'll start flashing, and then push and hold the VacLink on the dust extractor and they'll sync up. What that's going to do is automatically turn on the dust extractor when the tool is activated. This is a huge time saver and just a really convenience to have in the shop, especially if it's on the other side of the workbench. You don't have to walk around and turn the shop vac on, or if you're on a ladder or scaffolding or something like that, it's just very, very convenient. There we go. And then it powers itself off in a few seconds. Thankfully, it doesn't run very long, so you don't have to sit there and wait 20 seconds for it to go off. Hercules is like that. I do like that it shuts itself off really quickly, and for some reason, that just makes me smile when that happens. I love it. And you can hear that auto filter cleaning too. Man, do I wish the M12 sanders had that VacLink on there. These are some of my favorite cordless sanders, this M12 line. Now I have no idea if this is gonna work. I hope it does. Can we pair more than one tool to the VacLink? I don't know, we'll find out. I've already paired the sander. I just paired the remote. Let's see, the remote should work. The remote works. Does the sander still work? Yes! That's awesome. So you don't have to worry about syncing only the button or only the tool. You can sync more than one. This is fantastic. I don't know how many you can sync up to. We'll find out. I'll let you know. Another question I have is, can we power this with a cord plugged in back here without batteries being installed? I think it should. I don't see why it wouldn't, but we need to know, so let's find out. Game changer. Dual power. You don't have to be on the Milwaukee platform to get this tool, but if you need that cordless ability, there it is. I was kind of worried about that actually. I thought maybe there was some type of reason why they would have to have batteries in there, but they do not. I don't think it's charging the batteries while plugged in though. The difference in power though is if you have it plugged in with the cord, you're going to get maximum 175 CFM. Nice suction amount. If it's just battery power, it goes down to 125 CFM. Still plenty to do most dust extraction things. However, you do get more suction with more power. I am curious how it will do with 2 6 amp hour batteries. That's what I have here on hand. Both of these are charged fully. No problems there, probably, no, not probably, a lot less battery life versus the 12 amp hour, but it is possible to run these on smaller batteries. Now on the stats on the website, it actually says 2 M18 batteries required for operation, but I just showed that you can plug it in without any batteries and operate it just fine. Now they claim up to 41 minutes of continuous run time or cleaning time with this, or up to 78 minutes max run time on 2 M18 Forge HD batteries. There's also a low flow indicator that communicates if airflow drops below the optimal performance. This is also one key compatible, so you can track and manage your tools remotely, which is a cool feature of Milwaukee. This does have a 3-year warranty on the tools and the batteries. If you pick up the combo, this is available in a combo kit or just a standalone tool. And then there's also this 10-foot, this is a 10-foot hose that says anti-static, so that's good. Before we compare this to the Festool to see how that stacks up, let's put it through the test, see how it collects the dust, because that's why you're buying this. All right, as far as sanding goes, I'm going to use the M18 sander first. Not my favorite Milwaukee tool. I've talked about this a lot. I prefer the M12 way over the M18. I don't like that M18 sander. It's vibrating, it's off balance weight, but we're going to sand with it. We're going to sand this piece of walnut here. This is from our friends at Old Log and Sawmill. We sell these kits there. These are charcuterie board kits that you can buy or cutting board kits. I'll link to them in the description, but sanding on this walnut is pretty rough. And you can see that there's not any dust to speak of coming off this with the dust extractor on. And I sanded it with it for a little while, and you can see there's no buildup or anything like that on the sanding disc. And then I turned the dust extractor off, and I just sanded. You can see the dust, especially against this black background, you can see that dust floating in the air. And that's what we're trying to prevent with dust extractors and dust collection and things like that. We don't want that in the air and you're breathing it all in. So that's what a dust extractor is really excelling at. And you can see when I turn it back on, it goes away. This could be the perfect sanding combo. This dust extractor with this M12 sander, like butter. So you know how Festool, everybody always says you're getting into the system of Festool because you get the dust extractor and everything just works together. Milwaukee has done that. Like they're doing that consistently now. Like this M12 sander connects perfectly to the new dust extractor connection. Genius, I love it. It also connects to the M18 sander perfectly. They're just doing it right, and I like it. All right, so what about dust collection on the other tools that we're going to be using it with? Table saw, routers, track saws, that sort of thing. Let's put it through the test. First, a router. Now I'm just using the edge profile bit. This is just like a round over bit. You're going to see, it doesn't matter what dust collection you have, you're going to see dust coming off the edge unless you have a cover. Similar to what the DeWalt plunge router has, that cover that goes over the outside edge and just helps with dust collection. Otherwise, you're going to see a little bit of dust, but it is doing a pretty good job of collecting what it can. And when I say what it can is there's just some that's going to fly off the edge. Nothing you can do about it. Put it on the table saw. One thing to note is their adapter does not work with DeWalt. Well played, Milwaukee. Thankfully, I did have a 3D printed adapter. You can get these very easily on Etsy or print one yourself if you have a 3D printer. That's what I did. But their adapter does not fit that one. Kind of interesting. I think their adapter actually is going to fit their M18 table saw, probably on the inside if I had to guess. Maybe on the outside. I don't know. It should fit the M18. Overall, I just cut this sheet of plywood. This is max power with corded power. In other words, we're getting the max 175 CFM on this, or should be. Collected the dust fine. The dust you see coming off is coming off the top of the blade, but if you have the blade guard installed, it should help collect that dust even more. It's doing what it should be doing. I see nothing wrong here. Track saw, that push button's the best feature ever. I did 2 different tests, one with the battery, one with the corded power. There was an obvious difference in sound. In other words, the amount of air being pulled through this track saw, you can literally hear the rushing air. That is true. It doesn't matter if you have it hooked to a tool or not. You can hear the audible difference in suction, but you're going to get a little reduction in suction if you're using it on battery power only. It did pretty good. Battery power only is collecting the dust. This is about what I see using my Festool. You're not seeing a whole lot of dust coming off here. It's always going to be a little bit just coming off the blade, but it does do a good job. When you hook it to corded power, I can see a major difference here in dust collection, and I think you should be able to see it here on the video as well. There's a little bit of dust coming off, but not near as much as the other. That's the way I perceive it. Now, one thing I found interesting was, in one instance, I hooked it to my corded power, and I pushed the button, and nothing happened. The lights lit up, the suction amount lights lit up, but the blue light beside the 1 key didn't come on, and then a few minutes later started a loud beep, almost like a smoke alarm beep. Unplugged it, took the batteries out, replugged it in, everything was fine. So I think there's some type of fail-safe there. Maybe I was using the wrong gauge cord. I didn't swap cords, so it happened, just so you know. When you first plug it in, you should see this, or put batteries in, you'll see the blue 1 key light come on. I didn't see that when it was having the issue, but it was only that one instance, and I haven't been able to replicate it, so I'm assuming it was the cord. In the manual, it does specify a certain gauge cord you should be using. That could have been the problem, but I tried the same cord and didn't get that same thing. So some type of fail-safe that kicked in and it reset. Now let's compare this to the Festool, because I love my Festool dust extractor. I've got one that's dedicated under the miter saw station. That's the CT36, which is really the comparable model here to this one. This is a CT48. The only difference in the 36 and the 48 is capacity. They both have the same features, the same suction, everything. The capacity is 48 liters versus 36. The 36 liter is closer to this because this is 34 liters or 9 gallons if you're in the USA. This is a 9-gallon dust extractor similar to the CT36. Now, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised here because there's a major difference here, and I think it's going to sway a lot of people over to Milwaukee. And I'm a huge Festool fanboy, or at least I was.
Stop, stop, stop. Wait, hold it, hold it. Hand it over.
Seriously?
Yep. Come on. Yep, hand it over.
But I'm going to get my Milwaukee one back. They both come with anti-static hoses, although I do prefer the Festool hose. They both have auto-clean filters. They both are HEPA filtration. They're both kind of similar in size. This one's a little longer, this one's a little taller. It just depends. I think this works better if you have the pack-out stuff because it's just going to be better balance. When you start putting sustainers on this thing, it gets kind of tall. They both have adjustable airflow. However, that's kind of where the similarities end. Now, the Festool does have onboard AC power so you can plug in your tool, but this is also a corded only tool. This is cordless and corded. As far as I could tell, Festool doesn't offer a cordless and corded version. You have to go with one or the other. The CFM on this corded Festool is 138 CFM. This, when corded, is 175. On cordless, 125. So you have the kind of the best of both worlds here with more suction power if you're powering it by cord. The price is kind of depending on what you're going to be using it for, right? The CT36 with auto clean, just like this has auto clean filters, is $1,035. Bare tool, this is $799 versus this at $1,035. However, if you need the two 12-amp-hour batteries, so you need this to be cordless, which is a very specific use case. If you need cordless, the combo where you get two of the 12-amp-hour big old Forge batteries and the charger is a whopping $1,300 at the time of this filming. We all know Milwaukee puts stuff on sale all the time. Festool rarely puts stuff on sale. If you're going to wait for one of these to go on sale, you should sign up for my daily tool deals emails. They're absolutely free. First link in the description. I send out the best tool deals every morning. All right, so what I like and what I don't like and what I would change if I could. First, I love the fact this is dual HEPA filters. Anti-static hose, I thought I wasn't going to like this. I do prefer the Festool hose, the fabric cover hose. It just flexes a little better. But overall, this is a really nice anti-static hose. I absolutely love that they included the VacLink button. I'll say it again, you don't know how convenient this is having on the end of a shop vac hose until you have one of these, especially around the shop. You're on the other side of the bench, all that stuff. I love the fact that we have the option of going cordless or corded. I think this will set Milwaukee apart from all of the other competition right now. This is on another level than anything else I've used. I love the fact we have auto clean. I love that you can control the volume. I love the pack out integration that they've done here, especially if you're on a job site or even in the shop and you're trying to conserve space. You can store your tools and accessories on top here. Great. Nice hole storage, really nice casters on the bottom just to roll around the shop. And 9 gallons of capacity here with that bag. It does include the bag, so that's going to help keep your filters clean. So if you're using this for dust, sheetrock, concrete dust, all that stuff, it's just an extra layer of filtration. The suction on this thing, 175 CFM on corded power, is very, very sucky. Like there's a lot of suction on this thing. And even on cordless power, you're getting plenty of suction for normal use. If you're using more dust-heavy tools like table saws, it would be better on corded power, but it's still not bad on cordless. It also has the one key. If you're on job sites, you need to keep track of your tools, things like that. That might be a great option for you. I don't personally use that, but it is an option. Now, what I don't like, the price. Nobody likes the price of these tools because they are very expensive. All dust extractors are very expensive. Like there's very few budget option dust extractors. The Hercules is the only one that really comes to mind as being a viable option. It's $350, this is $800, so there is a big difference there in price, but this is in the Milwaukee platform, so you can use it with pack out and batteries and things like that. And it also comes with adapters to adapt all your Milwaukee tools. I think if you're a fan of Milwaukee, this is a no-brainer. If you're looking for extra dust collection or a dust extractor, other than that, there's really not a lot not to like. It's just Awesome. Oh, there is one thing I really wish they would have included with this, and that is a floor cleaning kit. Like the Hercules comes with a floor cleaning kit. It's like a couple of hard pipes and then the pieces that you use to vacuum the floor up. That would have been nice. Maybe that'll come out in a pack out form later on just to attach on top. That would be sweet. As far as how many tools can be connected to the VacLink, I've not found that yet. If you know, let me know in the comments. On the box, it actually shows 3 tools plus the remote, so that's 4. I'm sure there's a limit, but it's probably like a Bluetooth speaker or your phone connecting to Bluetooth speakers. You can have multiple connected and just choose which one you want. It may be that way. I don't know. Let me know. But we know that there's at least more than 1, probably more than 4. If you have that many tools connected, you're awesome. You have a lot of Milwaukee. If you think this is impressive, you should check out those 5 Milwaukee tools that are absolutely on another level. Click in that box, get you the big old virtual fist pump. You got to get one of these.